Tonight, we invite you to a peaceful journey through the ancient myth of Helios, the quiet journey of the sun. Here, you'll discover the calming tale of the divine charioteer who gently carries the light across the sky each day. Feel the comforting rhythm as Helios observes the world below, quietly influencing the cycles of life from dawn to dusk. Let go of the day's worries, rest your mind, and prepare to drift into serenity. And now, let the tale unfold. In the serene calm of ancient times, in a world where myth and reality effortlessly intertwined, Helios, the steadfast charioteer of the sun, slowly awoke. Each dawn presented the same noble task, to begin the celestial journey across the sky, bringing light to the sleepy world below. As his eyes opened to the gentle hue of approaching dawn, there was a sense of comforting predictability that filled the quiet space around him. This was his sacred duty, gently renewed with every awakening, setting in motion the cycle of life once more. Helios moved with purpose towards the illustrious chariot of the sun, a magnificent creation that shimmered with hues of soft orange and warm amber even in the gentle light of dawn. The chariot was not merely a means of transport, it was an extension of his being, a vital instrument in maintaining the balance of day and night. Its golden glow anticipated the day's journey, encapsulating the promise of warmth and life. As Helios approached, the air seemed to hum softly with anticipation, echoing the steady heartbeat of a new day about to unfold. Before he could begin, Helios turned his attention to the 4 immortal horses that would carry him through the skies: Reins, Eos, Phaethon, and Phlegon. These celestial steeds, imbued with divine energy, were essential companions on his journey. With a practiced hand, he checked their readiness, ensuring that their radiant forms were eager and well prepared. The horses stood patiently, their eyes flickering in the pale light, mirroring both the calm and anticipation that hung in the morning air. Their rustling breaths created small clouds in the cool dawn, hinting at their immense power ready to be unleashed at Helios' command. Below, the earth lay swathed in a veil of slumber, with shadows enveloping fields and forests in quiet repose. Yet, there was an unmistakable sense of expectancy, as if the world itself awaited the first light to stir to life. Birds nestled in their branches, and creatures nestled in their dens, all poised to awaken and embrace the gentle rhythms of day. The silent promise of departure lay heavy in the air, a whisper of warmth about to kiss the planet's surface, dissolving the night's shadows in its tender embrace. To the east, Eos, the goddess of dawn, heralded the morning with her gentle glow, painting the horizon with strokes of soft gold and blushing pink. Her presence was an ode to the promise of a new day, a signal to Helios that the time had come. Her light was not demanding or harsh. Rather, it had a gentle, hopeful radiance that beckoned the sun to rise. This subtle symphony of color served as a gentle invitation to commence his journey, crafting a bridge between night and day. With resolve, Helios ascended the chariot, feeling the familiar grip of the reins between his fingers, a connection rooted in countless dawns and dusks. Mounting the chariot was a ritual of reassurance, a trust built over time between him and his celestial companions. The act was solemn yet reassuring, an anchor in a world constantly in flux. The reins were firm, yet the touch was precise and gentle, much like Helios himself, consistently dependable, eternally vigilant. Eos cast a gentle nod in his direction, a simple gesture rich with unspoken understanding. It was the moment they both shared, a silent affirmation to commence the timeless voyage. This nod was both farewell and welcome, a delicate acknowledgement of the seamless dance between night and day. It signaled that the untamed night could now yield to the measured course of sunlight. As Helios guided the chariot forward, the world began to bathe in the sun's golden glow. The horses bounded forward, muscles rippling under the morning light, their elegant grace mirrored by the quiet strength of their driver. Together, they ascended, rising over the horizon, chasing away the retreating tendrils of the night. The earth unfurled below in panoramic splendor, shrouded under a gradually dissolving cloak of stars. With each stride of those mighty horses, the day was reborn, whispering promises of light and life to all who awaited its tender embrace. The journey had begun, and with it, the world stirred to the rhythm of dawn, a familiar lullaby of nature's return from the embrace of night. Helios, ever observant, guided the chariot on its predetermined path, aware yet serene, as another day unfolded beneath his steady gaze. As the golden chariot of the sun ascends higher into the vast expanse, Helios takes a deep and steady breath, preparing for the day's journey. His eyes, ever watchful and wise, gaze upon the far-reaching landscape below. With each upward pull of the immortal horses, the world gradually awakens beneath the glow of dawn. Helios holds the reins with a practiced hand, guiding the chariot with the ease born of countless days of dedicated service. At the horizon, Eos, the goddess of the dawn, wields her brush with deft strokes, painting the sky in resplendent hues of peach and gold. Her radiant light is the gentle herald of morning, infusing the firmament with a serene elegance that sets the stage for the awakening day. Helios appreciates her artistry, the way each color seamlessly blends into the next, causing the sky to blush with a soft glow that ushers in the promise of new beginnings. As the chariot rises, Helios peers below and sees the first glimmers of light catch on the morning dew. Each delicate droplet on the leaves, like tiny jewels, reflects the sun's growing presence. These pearls of moisture are nature's delicate nod to the dawning day, shimmering with potential, whispering softly of life that will soon stir. Not far away, birds begin to flutter, taking wing beneath the golden embrace of the new day. Their morning song fills the air, a symphony of notes that echoes over fields and forests alike. This avian choir heralds the liveliness of the earth, a daily concert that accompanies the sun's ascent, each bird a musician and a grand orchestra directed by the hands of Helios. With the spreading light, humanity awakens from its slumber, rising to welcome the day. Helios looks on as doors are opened, and sleepy faces greet the morning. It is a routine, an unspoken ritual played out across villages and countryside as people step into the gentle warmth. They greet each other with smiles and nods, embodying the quiet joy emanating from the dawn. Helios observes farmers moving to their fields, their bodies silhouetted against the brightening sky. With hands strong and sure, they tend to the earth, coaxing life from the soil. The sun smiles upon their labor, casting long shadows that stretch out across freshly plowed earth, marking the passage of time and toil. Each furrow turned is a testament to patience and perseverance, qualities Helios himself knows well. Farther out, where the land meets the sea, ocean waves catch the sun's rays, each crest bursting into a shimmering dance of light. The interplay between light and water weaves a tapestry of gold across the surface, a living canvas continuously refreshed with each ebb and flow. Helios sees this, and is reminded of the rhythm of the world, a rhythmic pulse that beats in time with his own steady path across the sky. As the sun climbs higher, its light casts longer, warming shadows over the waking landscapes. These shadows are companions to the light, stretching gently across fields and forests, offering respite from the sun's gentle warmth. They play a quiet game with the daylight, both reminders of the balance maintained by Helios's unwavering journey. In this tableau of life beginning to stir, Helios finds contentment. He's aware of the cycles he sustains, the invisible threads that connect each element of life below to his journey above. As his chariot moves steadily onward, He reflects on the hope and promise that each dawn brings, understanding that it is this continuity that gives weight to his eternal task. With the world aglow and the stage set for the day ahead, Helios casts a last glance over the awakening earth before pressing onward. The light's journey has begun, and with it, the promise of continuity and balance in every warming ray that touches the earth. As Helios continues his celestial passage, his chariot ascends to the zenith of the sky. This position allows the sun to fully unfurl its luminous glory, casting a brilliant brightness over the world below. The landscape is now bathed in radiant golden light, reflecting the vibrancy of midday. The warmth is both comforting and invigorating, providing energy to every living creature beneath its rays. From his vantage point high above, Helios observes the unfolding scene with a watchful eye. The hustle and bustle of life become even more pronounced as he surveys the earth. Fields that were once kissed only by the soft hues of dawn are now alive with activity. The farmers toil with vigor, their movements synchronized with the rhythms of the earth as they tend to their growing crops. The sun, steadfast in its journey, offers the hours needed for these labors, ensuring the sustenance of all living things. In the heart of towns and villages, activity swells. People engage in their daily work, their diligence reflecting the determination of midday's brightness. Merchants stand proudly by their wares in bustling marketplaces, the sun's warmth a welcome companion in their transactions. The colors of vegetables and fabrics become more vivid under the full embrace of Helios light, creating a tapestry of life that spreads through winding streets and open squares. Children, untethered by the constraints of duty, take to the open fields and streets. Laughter bubbles up towards Helios as they run and play beneath the vast blue expanse. Their games echo the joyous freedom that accompanies the peak of the day. With each movement, the children seem to dance with the light itself, embodying the pure energy that Helios brings to this world. Near the edges of these communities, fields spread out like patchwork quilts. Helios watches with quiet delight as the broad expanses of cultivated land teem with life. Insects hum tirelessly. Their work is vital as that of any farmer or merchant. The plants, nourished by the sunlight, reach upward, leaves catching the essence of life's renewal. At the community markets, Helios witnesses exchanges that speak to more than just commerce. They are dialogues of connection and harmony. The shared smiles and friendly barters mirror the sun's capacity to unite those beneath its glow. Such moments assure Helios of the strength and resilience in the world he oversees, a testament to the enduring cycles that bind them all. Undeterred by the relentless brightness, life continues unabated beneath the midday sun. The day is a symphony of activity that thrives in the luminous embrace of Helios' chariot. The sun's light, though unyielding, invigorates every endeavor, reminding all of the dance between energy and repose inherent in the day's cycle. Helios, ever observant, feels a gentle warmth, not solely from the sun above, but from within, a satisfaction in witnessing such harmony in motion. His role is constant, yet in the steady passage, he discerns the delicate balance between light and shadow that governs this world. As the sun begins its slow arc toward the west, Helios senses the subtle changes that signal the day's turning point. Shadows start to lengthen incrementally, hinting at the forthcoming transition to the softer light of afternoon. Helios smiles, content in the knowledge that he is part of an eternal rhythm, one that brings life and light to all who dwell below. As Helios begins his slow descent from the zenith of his daily journey, the sun chariot glides steadily across the afternoon sky. The transition from the vibrant midday to the serene afternoon is marked by the subtle elongation of shadows creeping across the earth below. Helios, ever observant, notes these changes with a calm satisfaction, aware of the gentle rhythms that govern the celestial dance. With each passing moment, the sun sinks a little lower, its light softening into a palette of mild oranges and soft golds, casting a mellow hue over the tranquil fields. The world beneath this soothing light begins to ease from its bustling noontime energy. Activities in the fields, bold and ceaseless just hours before, now show signs of gentle deceleration. As Helios guides the chariot with unyielding steadiness, he sees workers beginning to seek the respite of the lengthening shadows. These shadows provide a cool refuge, a natural invitation for laborers to pause and embrace a moment of rest. It's a symphony of simple pleasures that Helios observes, a cool breeze rustling through the leaves and the peaceful lull that the afternoon brings. Helios is particularly drawn to the sight of farmers in the fields, their brows glistening with the effort of the day under the generous sun. Now, they retreat to the shade of olive trees or the cover of their modest canopies, wiping away the toil with satisfaction and relief. These moments of repose are precious, and it is in these pauses that the melodious hum of nature at rest humbly reverberates. Helios, in his silent wisdom, understands that this balance is as vital as the vigor of the morning's endeavors. As these afternoon shadows grow and stretch across the undulating landscape, Helios witnesses the gentle pace of the world adjusting, a demonstration of life's cyclical balance. The steadfast chariot continues its passage, an unwavering guardian of time's onward march from morning to evening. The day's heat starts to recede, and a calming coolness settles over the land. The sun's descent offers a reprieve, not only to the people, but to the earth itself, softening the intensity of the day's earlier embrace. The animals, too, partake in the afternoon reverie. Grazing herds move under the dappled sun, finding solace in the cooler shadows. Birds cease their midday songs, opting instead for rest and communion, their calls replaced by the soft rustle of leaves and the whisper of the wind. This tranquil tempo is an invitation to all beings to slow, reflect, and savor the equilibrium of the present moment. Helios takes pleasure in the order of such transitions. As the chariot rides along its preordained path, he muses on how each part of the day, from the bright burst of morning to the gentle stretch of afternoon, contributes to the world's enduring harmony. The chariot, in its deliberate pace and stability, mirrors this balance. There is no rush, only an adherence to the sequence that has always been. The afternoon continues to unfold, serene and predictable. Farmers and laborers, having enjoyed their respite, prepare to return to their tasks with renewed vigor, but at a more measured pace. Helios watches appreciatively as they rise, acknowledging the necessity of rest in the continuous cycle of effort. The rhythm of the day, much like a well-conducted symphony, resumes its reading under the sun's golden grace. As the afternoon shadows stretch ever longer, Helios knows that thoughts of evening subtly begin to weave into the fabric of the day. The world below seems to sense this too, embracing the sun's gentle guidance into the next stage. The chariot rides on, a constant companion guiding Earth's rhythms, until Helios will hand over to Selene, his watchful sister awaiting her moment to bathe the world in her silvery light. In this moment, there is a peaceful reflection, the sense of a day well observed and another evening gently approaching. The balance between day and night stands assured, and Helios continues, carrying with him the silent promise of the dawn yet to come. As the afternoon shadows lengthened and the day drew on, Helios directed his chariot toward the western skies. The sun, now a gentle orb of warmth, began to soften its light, casting a warm amber glow over the earth below. Helios, ever observant, noted how the world began to slow its pace, and the once vibrant energy of the afternoon gave way to a more relaxed, soothing rhythm. The sky transformed into a canvas of dusky oranges and deep russets, painting a picture of tranquil splendor as the journey continued. Families below prepared to reunite with loved ones after the day's endeavors. Helios could see them returning from fields, workshops, and markets, their hearts eager for the comforts of home. The golden rays of the sun seemed to beckon them, guiding their way with a nurturing embrace as they finished their tasks. The chariot moved steadily across the sky, its light providing the comforting assurance of the sun's enduring presence. Amidst this transition, Helios observed animals retreating to their nests and dens, seeking refuge in the coming night. Birds returned to their trees, their wings silhouetted against the fading light, while small creatures scurried into burrows hidden within the safety of the earth. The world, aware of the sun's journey, prepared itself for the peace and mystery that evening promised, finding solace in nature's consistent rhythms. As the sun descended further, its rays illuminated the amber-tinted clouds that drifted lazily across the cooling air. The chariot gleamed warmly in this golden light, a steadfast sentinel guiding the transition from day to night. Helios watched the changing colors with satisfaction, a master painter observing the final strokes of his day's masterpiece. The blending hues signaled the close of another chapter in the ceaseless cycle of light and dark. A sense of completion filled the air, a silent acknowledgement of a day's work well done. Helios, steadfast in his duty, felt the world sigh in contentment as it transitioned into evening. The landscape below him quieted, the once bustling towns and fields now serenely basking in the gentle dusk. The quietude was palpable, a prelude to the restful night that awaited. Helios savored the serene march of time, acutely aware of how each moment was part of the larger tapestry of life. His role in this unfolding story was a constant, one that connected the myriad events of the day into a harmonious whole. As he approached the edge of the sky, a golden promise lingered with every fleeting ray, a commitment to return and bring light anew with each breaking dawn. The world quieted under the ever-dimming light, anticipation building for the night's arrival. Helios perceived the gentle pull of sleep on the Earth's inhabitants, their bodies responding naturally to the softening light. The balance of the day, its rush, its rest, its rhythm, came to its inevitable conclusion, readying for the dark canvas upon which Selene, the moon goddess, would soon paint her own tale. Evening's close hinted at the inevitable meeting of day and night, just as Helios would soon meet his sister Selene. The exchange of light for darkness was both an ending and a beginning, a seamless passage that forged the continuous thread of existence. Helios, attentive and devoted, prepared to hand over the reins, knowing the cycle would endure. Under the dusky orange and soft amber sky, Helios continued onward, the chariot marking its ancient path. The steadfast rhythm of the celestial course reassured both the skyward traveler and the world below. With contentment in his heart and the peace of another completed day, Helios readied himself for the transition to come, the gentle glow of evening offering the promise of restful night and the dawn of yet another day. As the day drew to a close, Helios, steady and observant, guided his celestial chariot to the edge of the horizon. The sun, once fierce and brilliant, began its gentle descent. The light no longer commanded but whispered, its golden rays elongating into the tender embrace of dusk. This transition was a familiar dance to Helios, as old as time itself, and yet it never lost its beauty. The melding of day into night was a serene moment, full of grace and quiet vitality. Against the backdrop of the sky, now painted in hues of deep orange and soft violet, dusk laid its gentle touch upon the earth. Helios watched from his perch as the world below responded to the dwindling light. Families gathered in courtyards and humble abodes, exchanging the warmth of togetherness as the day's work came to an end. Children reveled in the last remnants of daylight, chasing shadows and embracing the promise of tomorrow. The air was filled with a tender hush, a shared appreciation for the day that was as it faded into memory. As the chariot progressed, the sun's glow kissed the earth goodbye, casting a soft farewell on the landscape. Helios observed this tender parting with quiet satisfaction, knowing well the rhythm of nature he was a part of. The horizon glowed with a lingering warmth, a reminder of the sun's presence even as it prepared to withdraw. Beside this spectacular play of colors, the first stars twinkled hesitantly, piercing the evening veil with their distant gentle light. Helios, steadfast in his duty, regarded the heavens with a discerning eye. He knew that his task was almost done, and he welcomed the comforting routine of his day's end. It was a moment of reflection and gratitude, a pause before the next cycle commenced. As the Chariot's light began to fade, Helios acknowledged the subtle shift in his heart, a mixture of contentment and anticipation for the return of daylight. Below him, the world continued to adjust, wrapping itself in the cool dusk as animals retreated to nests and burrows, embracing the tranquility promised by night. The sky, now deep in twilight, resonated with a quiet promise of rest and renewal. Helios took this moment to relish the harmony, a silent observer of the peaceful transition in motion. The evening, gentle and deliberate, painted the sky in shades of calming dusk as Helios readied himself for the impending handover. The time approached for his sister Selene to grace the night with her calming light. The day's closure was not a matter of sudden darkness, but a tender melding into the moonlit serenity. In this handoff, Helios found a sense of completion, aware that Selene's gentle watch would embrace the world with soft silver tones. His immortal horses, attuned to this cyclical dance, mirrored Helios's calm disposition as they slowed their pace, easing into the repose that awaited them under the canopy of night. The soothing tempo of their celestial journey brought a sense of wholeness to the dusk's embrace. Poised at the threshold of night, Helios allowed himself a final glance at the familiar journey's end. This consistent passage, the daily voyage of light, grounded him in the eternal balance of day and night, a balance he was privileged to uphold. His thoughts lingered on the simplicity and profundity of his role, a role inherently connected to the rhythms of life itself. It was this continuity that provided meaning to his steadfast service, and that promised the gentle return of dawn. With the chariot descending softly against the deepening velvet canopy, Helios prepared for the comforting exchange. Soon, the world would glow with Selene's ethereal light, her presence setting in as a balm upon the earth. Reflecting on the beauty of this cosmic ballet, Helios recognized that each day's close held the promise of renewal, of bright beginnings yet to come. In the tranquility of this twilight, Helios poised himself to pass the reins, and with that, take his place in the serenity of the night, reassured by the whispers of dusk that tomorrow's light awaited just beyond the stars. As the last traces of the sun's glow dipped below the horizon, Helios gracefully stepped down from his chariot, his presence still vibrant with the warmth of his fulfilled task. The cool evening air whispered gently through the air, signaling the arrival of his sister Selene. Her chariot, aglow with a serene silver light, shimmered as she approached, bringing an essence of peace to the shadowed world. Immersed in the natural rhythm of day turning to night, Helios felt the contentment of duty well executed, his steadfast journey complete for another day. Selene's arrival was like the caress of a gentle breeze, her demeanor calming all who lay in the shadow of the now quiet sun. The silver luminescence of her chariot reflected gently across the landscape, casting soft shades of gray and twilight purple. As she drew near, Helios and Selene exchanged a few quiet words, a brother and sister in harmony with the day's and night's eternal dance. They spoke of the day's journey and the serene hush that now descended over the earth, a hush only the night could bring. As Helios reflected on his completed task, Selene's gentle smile assured him of her readiness to guide the night. Their conversation was an unspoken one filled with shared understanding. Helios, satisfied with the day's embrace of light and life, now observed the tranquil world, laying in shadows. Animals retreated to their dens, and families huddled under the canopy of stars beginning to twinkle in the deepening night. The siblings' exchange was brief yet filled with mutual respect for their roles. The transition from the vibrant energy of the day to the quiet watchfulness of night was seamless and assured. Helios allowed himself a moment of repose as he slowly stepped away, relinquishing the expanse of the sky to Selene. With every step back, he watched his sister's soft ascent into the darkened sky, her chariot carving a path of luminescence as the moon began to rise. Selene's command of the night was effortless, a delicate balance only she could maintain. The night's cooling breath was now hers to guide. As Selene gradually ascended, the moonlight cascaded across the earth, bathing it in a glow of silvery blue. The stars, now fully awakened, dotted the sky, creating a tapestry of serene beauty. It was a sight Helios watched with a soft pride and calm assurance, knowing his sister's graceful presence would hold the world gently through the night's silent chorus. Helios retreated further into the comforting cloak of the growing night, trusting fully in Selene's nurturing vigilance. Her gentle glow was like a whispered promise, an embrace of tranquility that lulled the earth into its nightly slumber. This quiet baton passing was a testament to the seamless continuity of their celestial roles, a balance maintained with each other's support and care. With Selene now in command, the moon rose high and cast its tranquil luminescence upon the world. The earth lay still, wrapped in the comforting embrace of nightfall. Helios withdrew into the background, a respectful bow to the evening's new guardian. Selene's chariot shone with a soft silver glow, her presence a soothing balm over the resting lands that Helios had watched over all day. Together in their unique harmony, Helios and Selene punctuated the timeless rhythm of life with their celestial cycle. Day gave way to night, and light transformed into restful shadow. With Selene now fully risen, the world continued its steady drift into slumber under her watchful gaze. As the moon continued its ascent, Helios settled into a peaceful rest, content in the knowledge that his sister's steady light would guide the night with grace and assurance. The seamless handover lifted the curtain of night with an effortless beauty that only the dance of celestial siblings could conjure. As the world succumbed to the peaceful lure of sleep, it was the quiet promise of the inevitable dawn that whispered softly in the moonlit air. Thus, with the gentle passage from Helios's day to Selene's night, life's cycles continued with serene assurance, ever poised for a new day to dawn. As dusk gave way to night, Selene gracefully took her place in the sky, her presence ushering in tranquility across the world. Unlike the fiery embrace of her brother's sunlit charge, Selene's moonlight was a soft, silvery balm, soothing the earth into peaceful slumber. The stars, like watchful eyes sprinkled across the velvet canopy above, twinkled knowingly, creating constellations that told silent stories. As she guided her chariot, the world below responded with a deep, collective sigh, feeling the calming assurance of her vigil. The moonlight, gentle and persistent, washed over the winding rivers, casting silvery trails that danced softly on their rippling surfaces. These glistening rivers, reflecting the heavens, became pathways of light, guiding nocturnal creatures in their quiet pursuits. Owls emerged, silent shadows on the prowl, their keen eyes seeking the subtler movements beneath the shroud of night. In contrast, the gentle flutter of bats painted the air in delicate strokes above the landscape, their wings barely disturbing the serenity. Under Selene's watch, the night was alive but harmonious, a symphony of quiet activity thriving in the velvety darkness. Humans now tucked into their dwellings found comfort in the night's embrace. Their homes glowed faintly, framed by the moonbeams filtering through windows, wrapping their dreams in soft luminescence. Selene observed this nightly ritual of rest, a contrast to the day's vibrant bustle under Helios's gaze. Here, the refreshment of sleep was nurtured, the mind drifting into the realm of dreams, where imagination roamed freely, unburdened by daylight constraints. Selene's chariot glided smoothly across the night sky, maintaining a steady course as the earth below rested. Stars of various hues adorned the celestial dome, creating intricate patterns for those who dared look upward, pondering the mysteries of the heavens. The sky was a vast and enduring tapestry, unrolling with each passing hour and murmuring secrets known only to the ancients. It was under this mighty blanket of night that the world turned, held in the reliable embrace of the cosmos. Helios, resting and regaining strength, was displaced from the center of this nocturnal world, but not forgotten. He lay within his abode upon the western horizon, gathering energy for his return at dawn. His journey was temporarily halted, yet it continued through the cycles of rest and renewal. Although unseen, he remained a pivotal force, his presence near as Selene's softer light bridged one day to the next. Here, at the cusp of day and night, the balance was held in this familial relay. With a gentle, measured rhythm, Selene's reins safeguarded a sleeping world. Her moonlight dispelled fears that lurked in shadow, leaving no room for darkness to assert dominion. If Helios was the architect of life's progression, Selene was the guardian of its reflection, ensuring each moment was cradled in assurance and quiet wonder. In the contours of her journey, she delineated the calm before another dawn, drawing the world into a woven tapestry of rest and anticipation. As the night unfurled, whispers of the approaching dawn began their subtle dance across the horizon. Though still wrapped in night's embrace, the earth anticipated with hushed anticipation the first signs of Eos's radiant glow. The transition remained seamless, as if woven with the tender hands of the fates themselves, promising the continuity of the celestial cycle. Slowly, the promise of day began to unfurl, made all more profound by the patient passage of night, under Selene's watchful eye. Under the gentle watch of his father, Helios, the sun's charioteer, Phaethon grew up surrounded by tales and visions of the sky. Observing the relentless journey of his father every day, Phaethon felt an irresistible pull towards the chariot of the sun. He yearned to feel the reins in his hands, to guide the trusted horses across the sky, and to witness the world from that divine perspective. Inspired by Helios's steadfast commitment, the ambition within him sparked brightly, much like the sun his father drove each day. One early morning, as the sky began to prepare for dawn, Phaethon approached Helios with an earnest plea, eyes gleaming with anticipation. He spoke of his desire to experience the magnificent journey, not merely as an observer, but as the charioteer himself. Helios, taken aback by his son's fervor, listened with a heart caught between concern and a soft understanding of youthful dreams. Helios knew well the might of the chariot and the delicate balance required to guide it safely, yet the sincerity in Phaethon's voice paused him in thought. Helios hesitated, aware of the risks tied to granting such a wish. He understood the world depended on the sun's steady course, on the assurance that each path across the sky was as consistent as the dawning and setting of the light. However, looking into Phaethon's eyes, Helios was moved by his son's heartfelt ambition. He considered the profound desire filling Phaethon, reminiscent of the fire that once burned within him when his own journey began. Despite his misgivings, Helios decided to grant Phaethon his wish, though only for a single day. He counseled his son, reminding him of the responsibility that lay ahead and the diligence needed to maintain the sun's course. Phaethon, brimming with excitement, promised to follow his father's guidance. With a mixture of pride and apprehension, Helios agreed, and the old charioteer prepared to hand over his sacred duty for one morning. As dawn unfurled across the horizon, Phaethon mounted the chariot with enthusiasm. His hands grasped the reins as his eyes scanned the vast sky before him, full of uncharted potential. The glow of the chariot bathed him in a brilliance that mirrored his inner excitement. The horses, sensing the unfamiliar touch and perhaps the wavering confidence, shifted restlessly, eager to begin the day's journey. With a heart pounding not from fear but from anticipation, Phaethon urged the horses forward. The powerful creatures, used to the firm guidance of Helios, sensed the inexperience in their new driver and responded unpredictably. They surged ahead with vigor, their pace quickening and unsteady. The chariot, typically a beacon of unwavering light in its path, now faltered. Phaethon's thrill mingled with a growing tension as he struggled to harmonize with the mighty team. From below, the world gazed upward, aware of the change in the sun's familiar rhythm. Helios, watching with a heavy heart from afar, could do little but observe the unfolding events. His concern grew as he noted the trembling uncertainty in the path of the sun chariot. The balance that held the cycles of the world in harmony wavered, unsettling the peaceful mood typically ushered by the sun's arrival. As Phaethon juggled with the reins, the sky mirrored the unease within him. Brilliant gold mingled with anxious orange and vivid red, painting a scene that spoke more of tension than the serene beauty usually carried by Helios. The world, sensing the discord, began to react to the unsteady journey. Unbeknownst to Phaethon, the ambition that drove him now faced a new test as the boundaries of his capabilities unfolded across the heavens. The chariot's path, unsteady and restless, cast ripples of uncertainty across the landscapes beneath it. This day, fraught with Phaethon's unrefined control, hinted at the challenges that lay in the hands of ambition not weighed down by the gravity of responsibility. The time of trial was only beginning, leaving in its wake a world in anticipation of what this bold day would reveal. Phaethon, brimming with youthful zeal, eagerly grasped the golden reins of the chariot of the sun, setting in motion a day unlike any other. The horses, feeling the inexperienced touch of their new driver, sensed a lack of their usual steady guidance. They immediately began to gallop with wild abandon, their surging power only magnified by the absence of Helios's practiced hand. As they charged forward, Phaethon struggled to maintain control, his hands clinging desperately to the reins, unsure of how to harness such unbridled energy. The sun, under Phaethon's unsteady stewardship, wavered erratically in its path across the sky, bringing unforeseen havoc to the world below. The rhythmic dance of day seemed to falter as shadows fell in odd patterns, disrupting the natural order. Without Helios's calm direction, the sun's heat intensified beyond its usual bounds. Forests in full summer flourish quickly found themselves dry and parched, their leaves crisp and ready to ignite. As the chariot veered too close, trees caught fire, their once comforting shade turned to tongues of flames licking towards the heavens. As the fiery blaze spread, rivers felt the torment of the sun's unchecked fury. Gentle streams that usually flowed with clear, cool water began to simmer and steam, their surfaces shimmering with an unnatural heat. In the deserts, the scorching sun, now relentless in its descent, caused the sands to blaze with a heat that no creature could withstand, forcing those that dwelled there to seek refuge or face the brutal blaze died. Below, people and creatures alike sensed the unnatural disarray in the sky. Farmers paused in their fields, shading their eyes as they watched the sun's erratic journey. Birds, feeling the unusual warmth, took flight, seeking cooler air, while animals retreated to the safety of the shadows. The usual harmony dictated by the steady sun was disrupted, replaced by an unsettling chaos that left the world in turmoil. High in the sky, even the heavens felt the sun's disturbed path. Clouds, typically drifting peacefully, now seemed to tremble and dissipate under the scorching light. The air itself quivered with disturbed tension, whispering the urgency of imbalance across the lands below. Phaethon, despite his best efforts, found himself overwhelmed, surrounded by chaos, as the chariot careened under his unsure guidance. His heart pounded with the realization of his limitations, his earlier enthusiasm replaced by a growing desperation. Helios, from afar, watched the unfolding disaster with a heart full of helplessness. Tethered to his earthly duties, he could only observe as his beloved son floundered where he once dreamed to triumph. Helios had anticipated the challenges, yet the sight of his son struggling with the chariot in such turmoil tugged at him, his own hands itching to reach out and steady the course. But divine laws and the promise he'd given held him back, emphasizing only that there were lessons that his son must experience on his own. As the day wore on, the world itself seemed to plead for the restoration of balance and order. The damaged lands called out for the kindly journey of Helios, for the reassuring arc of the sun he expertly charted each day. Phaethon, though struck by the gravity of his venture, continued to seek control, the reins slipping through his fingers like sand caught in the wind. Yet, try as he might, the sun chariot rambled unbridled towards further chaos, each moment a cry for order. The sky painted itself with fiery red and deep crimson, a reflection of the chariot's reckless path and the turmoil it wrought. Yet, within this chaos, a hope lingered, a hope that order could soon be restored by those who could intervene from the celestial heights. Thus, as Phaethon's journey brought the world to the brink, the echoes of the sky called out for divine intervention, for the return of a guiding hand to steady the course. In the heights of Olympus, the unsettling chaos below did not go unnoticed. The sun's erratic journey, swerving wildly across the sky, disturbed the divine calm, capturing the attention of the gods. Alarm spread as they observed the turmoil generated by Phaethon's inexperience with the fierce, untamed chariot. The heavens mirrored the unease gripping the world as Helios' usual path fell into disarray. Every burnished beam of light casting wild shadows seemed a cry for intervention, a call that Zeus, the mightiest of the divine, could not ignore. The balance of the world hung precariously, tilting dangerously under the weight of folly, and Zeus knew he must act to restore harmony. With the resolve only Zeus could muster, a swift decision was made. The master of the storm seized a mighty bolt of lightning with radiant hands, the very embodiment of divine authority. This was not a gesture of anger, but rather one of necessity, a means to protect the solar harmony that had so long cradled the earth. As the heavens held their breath, Zeus cast his bolt with precision, aiming to halt the churning chaos and return the day to its languid, gentle path. The crack of thunder that followed was not one of rage but of resolution, as the sky itself seemed to sigh in relief at the chosen intervention. The bolt struck its mark, a divine decree silencing the rampant chariot. Phaethon, the young and impetuous son of Helios, met a sudden and tragic end, consumed by the blinding light of Zeus' justice. It was a moment marked not by fury but by the settling of cosmic disturbance. The world exhaled, a collective sigh of relief whispering across the lands. Fires quelled, rivers stilled, and the earth, tumultuous and scorched, began its slow healing under the watchful gaze of the once more steady sun. Serenity, so recently lost, began to weave its gentle embrace across both sky and earth. Grief settled upon Helios like a gentle shadow, for the loss of Phaethon was more than the loss of a mere boy. It was a reminder of the frailty of cosmic balance. Yet, despite his sorrow, Helios knew his duty could not falter. The reins of the chariot, spent and still, needed his experienced hands once more. With a heart as golden as the sun he guided, Helios resumed his course, ushering the day back into its rightful order. He traversed the tracks of light as he so reliably did every day, a guardian of celestial constancy. Below, the world that had groaned under the sun's erratic path began to stir with renewed purpose. Scarred lands bathed in pale gold light promised recovery. The gentle amber hues were a balm to weary eyes. Birds tentatively resumed their song, a tranquil chorus rising like a gentle wave in the newly calm afternoon. Fields, the blackened aftermath of Phaethon's passage, promised life anew with the coming dawn, a testament to nature's enduring resilience under Helios's watchful eye. Balance, that precious equilibrium, was steadily restored. High above, Selene's gentle presence awaited her turn to spread peace over the night. As Helios resumed his tranquil glide across the heavens, Selene prepared to greet the world below. Her silvery chariot, waiting in the wings of twilight, bore the promise of cool serenity, a salve for the fiery tumult of the day. With the soothing light of the moon, she would follow her brother's journey, offering solace and gentle assurance to the world. Together, their paths ensured that light, whether bold and golden or silver and tranquil, would caress the earth without fail. Thus, under the unwavering guidance of Helios, the journey of the sun regained its serene course. The restoration of order after chaos was complete, a testament to the resilience of the cycles that carry life from day to night and back again. As Helios descended further west, the sun sat low, a comforting beacon of hope. His routine, though simple and often unnoticed, was the cornerstone of the world's rhythm, a continuous dance between day and night. The earth drank deeply of his light, an elixir of reassurance before the quiet of dusk. In the cooling splendor of late afternoon, the story of Phaethon's rise and fall faded into memory, a symbolic tribute to the duality of ambition and responsibility. As Helios' day neared its close, peace reigned once more. The chariot would rest only to rise again with renewed purpose, accompanying the whispers of dawn. The constant journey of the sun, venerable and unbroken, was a reminder that despite turmoil, the world would always find its way back to balance. As the first gentle hues of rose and amber began to paint the sky, Helios awoke to another day, ready to embark on his eternal journey. The memory of tumultuous events lingered in the cool morning air, yet the world greeted the new dawn with a serene sense of rebirth and balance. Though trials had transpired, the cycles of life continued their relentless rhythm, unflagged by past disturbances. Helios, the steadfast charioteer, felt the unwavering call of duty in his heart, echoing the harmony restored to earth and sky alike. He quietly prepared his celestial chariot, feeling the soft touch of spring around him. The horses, ageless and powerful, stood ready for the familiar journey that awaited them. Despite the upheavals of the past, a sense of peace pervaded as Helios renewed his silent vow to guide the sun faithfully across the heavens. It was an everyday ritual, his devotion woven into the very fabric of celestial order, keeping the balance alive for all living beings below. Up in the sky, Eos, the radiant goddess of the dawn, appeared, her light spreading gently to announce the morning. Her presence was a comforting reminder of continuity, as the dawn unfailingly followed the darkest of nights. Eos cast an encouraging smile toward her brother, Helios, confidently heralding the start of another cycle. It was a reassuring gesture, highlighting the unbroken chain of routine that Helios was such an integral part of. With a deep breath and renewed resolve, Helios mounted his magnificent chariot. Gripping the reins firmly, he allowed a moment of reflection on the harmony restored after chaos had threatened the world's natural rhythm. Despite the sorrow left by Phaethon's misadventure, Helios committed himself once more to sustaining the delicate balance of light and darkness. Life depended on his steadfast journey, and he was determined to honor this sacred responsibility. As Helios began his ascent, the world beneath welcomed the warming touch of sunlight anew. The familiar caress of golden rays brought gratitude and hope as it touched every leaf, hill, and dwelling. The earth, resilient and enduring, absorbed this light as a gentle promise that life's cycles would continue undeterred. It was an affirmation of the cyclic nature of existence, a constant that promised life and growth as endless as the turning of day to night and night to dawn. The sun climbed higher, and with it, Helios moved steadily across the heavenly arch. With each passing moment, the vast expanse of Earth awakened under the hopeful glow of a new day. Birds stirred in the trees, their songs heralding the vibrancy of morning. Communities below began their routines, secure in the knowledge that under Helios' watchful gaze, life would proceed with the consistency it had for ages past. As Helios drove onward, he reflected on the new dawn's enduring promise, a testament to resilience and the embrace of one's duties amidst uncertainty. The light he carried was not merely a physical phenomenon, but also a symbol of nature's cycles and the assurance they provided. The sun's journey from horizon to horizon was an eternal dance, one that Helios performed each day without fail, underscoring the serene order of the cosmos. The familiar warmth spread generously across the land as Helios continued his gentle path through the sky. Every beam of sunlight was a whisper of reassurance, echoing the essence of continuity and order that his revered task embodied. The world below, aware of the sun's nurturing embrace, basked in gratitude under its steady gaze, knowing that with each daybreak came the promise of a new beginning. As the cycle perpetuated, Helios knew in his heart that despite trials faced and trials yet to come, his journey was one of steadfast illumination, a guiding light for all existence. This realization wrapped him in a quiet assurance as he continued his celestial trek, fulfilling the sacred call of duty, honor, and cosmic harmony. The sun's journey across the sky was timeless, and as Helios journeyed onwards, he carried with him the promises of continuity and balance. With each passing moment, his commitment to the eternal cycle remained unwavering, a testament to the intertwined dance of light and shadow that he had pledged to uphold. And so, as the new day unfolded its wings, a gentle promise lingered in the morning air. Life's cycles endure, ever bearing the promise of renewal and resilience.